Welcome to this deep dive, and we're looking at something really kind of unique today.
Okay.
It's a design concept for a modern and luxurious Japanese-style apartment.
Nice.
But what makes this even more interesting is that they've actually used VR and AI to bring the whole design concept to life.
Wow.
So you can actually step right into your dream home before it's even been built.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see this merging of technology and traditional design principles.
Yeah.
And in this case, we're really seeing cutting-edge VR and AI to create a space that embodies the essence of Japanese aesthetics.
Totally. And it's not just about, creating a beautiful image, you're actually experiencing it.
Right.
You're feeling the flow and you're understanding how light interacts with the materials.
Absolutely.
I really want to unpack this and see how it all comes together.
Yeah, one of the first things that you'll notice is the apartment's overall ambiance.
Okay.
Elegant minimalist beauty that is just a hallmark of Japanese design.
Mm-hmm.
And they've used an open layout connecting the living room to the kitchen and dining area.
I see.
And that creates this incredible feeling of spaciousness.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it's more than just knocking down some walls, right?
Right.
There's got to be a whole philosophy behind that.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about physical space. It's about creating a sense of flow and connection between different areas of the apartment.
Right.
And that idea of interconnectedness is very important in Japanese culture.
Right.
Fosters a feeling of communal living and harmony.
Makes sense. I can already imagine just how relaxing it would be,
Right.
To be able to move so effortlessly from one space to the next.
Yeah,
And I'm sure light plays a big role in that as well.
absolutely. Light is a key element in Japanese design, and the designers have used light-colored natural wood throughout the apartment.
Okay.
And the way that interacts with the natural light coming through the windows is simply magical.
Gosh, I have to admit, I'm already picturing myself in this apartment.
Yeah.
Let's jump into the living room and see what makes it tick. What stands out to you in this space?
I think the living room's a perfect example of shibui,
Shibui.
a Japanese term that refers to understated elegance. It's not about flashy or ostentatious displays,
Right.
but about a quiet, refined beauty.
Mm-hmm.
The color palette is so calming. White, beige, light wood everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like stepping into a serene oasis.
Shibui. I love that it's like the design whispers rather than shouts.
Yes.
And it sounds like the choice of materials plays a big part in creating that.
Absolutely.
What kind of wood did they use?
For the flooring, they've used hinoki wood,
Okay.
which is prized in Japan for its subtle fragrance and warm tone.
Nice.
It's not just a visual element.
Mhm.
It adds to the sensory experience of the space. And you can see this emphasis on natural materials throughout the apartment, connecting the inhabitants to nature in a subtle but powerful way.
So it's about appealing to all the senses, not just the visual. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
What about the furniture? Did they go for traditional Japanese pieces or a more modern approach?
They've struck a beautiful balance between tradition and modernity.
Mm-hmm.
The furniture is simple and functional, with clean lines, and a focus on natural materials.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there's a low sofa upholstered in a soft natural fabric,
Okay.
a square coffee table made from a single slab of wood, and a minimalist rug made from woven seagrass.
So I can see how those pieces would create a sense of calm and tranquility.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also picturing, those incredibly intricate traditional Japanese screens.
Right.
Do those make an appearance?
They do. There's a stunning feature wall in the living room,
Okay.
adorned with cherry blossom and swallow motifs, and that adds a touch of traditional Japanese artistry to the space.
Awesome.
These aren't the heavy, ornate screens that you might be imagining, though.
Okay.
These are light and airy, almost like a watercolor painting on silk.
So they've managed to incorporate those traditional elements
Right.
without making the space feel heavy or dated. I love that. And what about those incredible traditional Japanese windows?
Yes.
Are those part of the design as well?
Yes, they've incorporated traditional Japanese-style wooden windows, known as shoji,
Choji.
which add an authentic touch.
Okay.
And these windows are made with translucent paper stretched over a wooden frame,
Mm-hmm.
allowing soft, diffused light to enter the room.
Wait, those paper windows are actually functional?
Yes.
I always thought they were purely decorative.
No, they're functional.
Well, I'm learning so much already.
Good.
But before we move on to the next space, can you tell me a bit more about that cherry blossom motif?
Okay.
It feels very deliberate.
You're right to pick up on that the cherry blossom motif is particularly significant in Japanese culture.
Okay.
It symbolizes renewal and the ephemeral nature of beauty.
Wow.
It's a reminder to appreciate the fleeting moments of life.
That adds a whole new layer of meaning to the design.
Yes.
It's not just about pretty flowers.
Right.
It's about a whole philosophy of life. I'm even more eager to see how this philosophy is reflected in the rest of the apartment. Shall we move on to the kitchen and dining area?
Let's do that. This is where we see the concept of wabi-sabi come into play.
Wabi-sabi. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one too.
Wabi-sabi is a Japanese philosophy that embraces the beauty of imperfection and impermanence.
Okay.
It's about finding beauty in the natural, the simple, the imperfect.
I see.
In the kitchen, you see this reflected in the use of rough-hewn wooden beams,
Okay.
the slightly uneven texture of the ceramic tableware, and the incorporation of natural elements, like a small bonsai tree on the countertop.
See, this is what I love about these deep dives.
Yeah.
It's not just about describing what we see. It's about understanding the why behind the design choices.
Exactly.
Like a window into a different way of seeing the world.
I couldn't agree more. And the beauty of this design is that it manages to integrate these philosophical concepts seamlessly into a modern functional space.
So tell me, how did they design the kitchen and dining area to incorporate this wabi-sabi philosophy?
The kitchen itself is designed in an L shape,
Okay.
seamlessly merging with the dining space. It's a very efficient use of space, which is another hallmark of Japanese design.
Right.
They've combined a bar-style counter with a conventional dining table,
Okay.
offering flexibility for both casual and formal dining.
I'm seeing a theme here, this blend of functionality and aesthetics.
Absolutely.
They seem to go hand in hand in Japanese design.
Every element
Yeah.
has a purpose,
Yeah.
and there's a beauty in that simplicity.
Right.
It encourages a mindful approach to living.
So tell me more about the materials and colors they've used in the kitchen. It sounds like they've continued that natural palette from the living room.
Yes, the color scheme remains consistent, white, beige, and light wood, creating a sense of harmony throughout the apartment.
Okay.
The kitchen cabinets and dining table are made from that same beautiful hinoki wood we saw in the living room, contrasted with a white countertop made from a natural stone with subtle veining.
That sounds stunning. And it's so interesting how they're using the same wood in different areas of the apartment. It creates a real sense of continuity.
Yeah.
What about lighting? How have they lit the kitchen and dining area?
They've used simple cylindrical pendant lights over the dining table and bar area,
Okay.
casting a warm, inviting glow. These are made from handmade paper, which ties in beautifully with those shoji windows we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
There are also a few strategically placed recessed lights to provide additional task lighting.
So they're layering the light just like in the living room? And I'm guessing natural light is also a key element in this space.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Large windows flood the kitchen and dining area with natural light, creating a bright and airy atmosphere. And they've continued that theme of bringing nature indoors with small plants placed on the countertop and shelves.
It all sounds so well thought out. They've really created a space that feels both practical and incredibly inviting. I'm curious to see how they've applied these design principles to the bedrooms. Shall we explore those next?
I'm ready when you are. The bedrooms are a masterclass in creating a sense of tranquility and peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bedrooms in this apartment truly embody that Japanese concept of shijaku, which translates to tranquility or stillness.
Okay.
It's all about creating a space that promotes relaxation and a sense of peace.
It sounds like they've really achieved that feeling of serenity, not just through the design, but through the materials as well.
Right.
Did they stick with the natural wood and neutral colors?
Absolutely. The color scheme remains consistent.
Okay.
White, beige, light wood, creating a sense of harmony and visual coherence throughout that really promotes a sense of calm.
I love that it's like a visual lullaby.
Yeah.
What are some of the specific furniture pieces they used?
Well, the bedrooms feature low Japanese-style beds,
Okay.
which are traditionally placed on tatami mats.
Oh, yeah, tatami mats.
Yeah.
That's such a classic element of Japanese design.
Right.
They've been used for centuries, haven't they?
You're right. Tatami mats have a long and rich history in Japan.
Wow.
They were originally used in the homes of the aristocracy,
Okay.
but became more widespread over time.
Makes sense.
And today, they're still considered a symbol of Japanese culture and are prized for their natural beauty and durability.
It's amazing how they've kind of seamlessly integrated these traditional elements into a modern design.
Yeah.
What else did they include in the bedroom?
Each bedroom also includes a sliding wardrobe with wooden doors,
Okay.
a minimalist desk, perfect for those who work from home or simply need a space for quiet reflection, and a bedside lamp.
It sounds like they've thought of everything. What about those little cultural touches that we saw in the living room?
Right.
Did they incorporate any of those into the bedrooms?
Of course. Each bedroom includes subtle but meaningful decorative elements
Okay.
that add a layer of personalization and connect the inhabitants to their heritage.
Mm-hmm.
For example, there's a beautiful Japanese-style painting on the wall depicting a serene mountain landscape.
Nice.
And on the desk, you'll find a maneki-neko,
Maneki-neko.
the lucky cat figurine believed to bring good fortune.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to me that, every element from the largest piece of furniture to the smallest decorative object seems to have a purpose and a meaning.
Right.
It's so different from the way we often decorate here in the West, where things can feel more random and less intentional.
That's a keen observation. Japanese design is all about intentionality.
Right.
It's about creating a space that reflects your values and promotes a sense of well-being.
I see.
And it's about appreciating the beauty and simplicity.
I'm starting to understand that it's not just about creating a beautiful space. It's about creating a space that nourishes your soul.
Beautifully put.
Uh-huh.
And there's one more feature in some of the bedrooms that I think you'll find particularly interesting.
Oh, okay. What's that?
They've included a low wooden platform reminiscent of an ongawa, which is a traditional Japanese veranda.
What's the purpose of this platform?
Well, it's both decorative and functional.
Okay.
The platform can be used as a space to relax, read a book, or enjoy a cup of tea.
I see.
It's a place to unwind and connect with nature, even within the confines of your bedroom.
So it's like a mini retreat within a retreat. I love that. And I'm guessing the platform also serves a practical purpose.
Guessed it, the platform can also be used for storage with hidden compartments underneath.
Oh, wow.
It's a great example of that Japanese emphasis on space efficiency and multi-purpose design.
Form and function in perfect harmony. It's such a clever design element. But now I'm dying to see how they've tackled the bathroom.
Okay.
I'm imagining a tranquil spa-like space.
You are. The bathroom is a sanctuary of serenity,
Okay.
embodying the Japanese concept of kirei, which encompasses cleanliness, order, and purity.
I see.
It's a space designed for rejuvenation and self-care.
I can already feel my stress melting away. Tell me all about it. What design choices did they make to create this spa-like atmosphere?
They've gone for a modern minimalist design, featuring a glass partition separating the shower and toilet areas,
Okay.
which maintains a sense of openness while providing privacy.
Makes sense.
A clever balance of functionality and aesthetics.
It sounds like they've thought everything. What materials did they use? Did they continue with the natural wood and that neutral color palette?
Yes, natural materials are key in the bathroom as well. The vanity and shelves are made from light wood, contrasting beautifully with the white marble-patterned wall tiles.
Oh, marble and wood. That sounds like a luxurious combination.
It is. And they've added some elegant touches with gold-plated shower fixtures and a large mirror with LED lights.
Wow.
There are also a few simple, elegant bathroom accessories like a ceramic soap dispenser and a bamboo bath mat.
It sounds absolutely stunning. And I'm betting they haven't forgotten about the importance of natural light in the bathroom.
Of course not. Large windows allow natural light to flood the space, creating a bright and airy atmosphere. But they've also included dimmer switches, so you can adjust the lighting to create a more relaxing ambiance in the evening.
So they've created a space that's both functional and incredibly luxurious. I'm really starting to get a sense of the thoughtfulness and intentionality that goes into every aspect of Japanese design.
It's not just about aesthetics, it's about creating a space that supports your well-being and promotes a sense of harmony and balance in your life.
Well said. But before we move on, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, this idea of
Right.
the concept of negative space.
Okay.
Can you tell me more about how that plays out in this apartment design? I'm having a little trouble wrapping my head around it.
Of course, is a fundamental principle in Japanese aesthetics. It's the idea that the empty space between things is just as important as the things themselves.
Okay.
It's about creating breathing room, both visually and mentally.
I see.
In this apartment, you see expressed through the open floor plan, the uncluttered surfaces,
Right.
and even the strategic placement of furniture and decorative objects.
So it's not just about having less stuff. It's about being intentional with what you choose to include and how you arrange it. It's about creating a sense of balance and harmony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about creating a space that feels calm and uncluttered, both physically and mentally.
Right.
And it's about appreciating the beauty in simplicity.
This has been so eye-opening. I'm starting to see how these Japanese design principles could be applied not just to our homes, but to our lives as a whole.
Yes.
It's making me rethink my own approach to decorating and even to organizing my life.
Interesting.
But before I get too carried away, I'm eager to hear more about how they've used lighting throughout the apartment.
Okay.
We've touched on it in each room, but I'm curious to get a more holistic view.
That's a great point. Light is a powerful design element, and they've used it masterfully in this apartment.
Yeah.
We've already talked about how natural light plays a key role.
Right.
But let's dive into how they've supplemented that with artificial light to create different moods and enhance the ambience.
Perfect lead, the way I'm all ears. So we've been talking about how the designers of this Japanese-style apartment have used natural light so effectively.
Right.
But I'm curious how they've layered in artificial lighting.
Yeah.
It seems like they've created different moods in each space, not just focused on brightness.
Yeah, it's a very nuanced approach, and I think it's key to how the apartment feels both modern but also deeply rooted in Japanese tradition.
Okay.
Think about those shodi screens we discussed.
Right.
The ones made with translucent paper.
Yeah.
For centuries, they've been used to filter sunlight, creating that soft, diffused glow.
Okay.
This apartment echoes that, even with its modern lighting.
So it's not just about, flipping a switch, it's about mimicking those qualities of natural light.
Precisely. They've used a variety of techniques.
Okay.
Recessed lighting, pendant lights, even strategically placed lamps. And many of the fixtures use warm-toned bulbs, which cast a softer, more inviting light than the harsh white light we often see in contemporary spaces.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can see how that warmer light would really enhance the feeling of tranquility, especially in the evenings.
Exactly.
It's like setting the mood for relaxation.
Exactly. And they've been clever with placement as well.
Okay.
For example, in the living room, they've used a combination of overhead lighting and strategically placed lamps to create pools of light.
I see.
Highlighting specific areas and creating a sense of intimacy.
I'm picturing myself curled up on that low sofa with a good book bathed in the warm glow of a lamp.
Right.
It sounds so inviting.
It is. And in the dining area, those pendant lights we talked about earlier cast a soft, focused light over the dining table, creating a warm and inviting atmosphere for meals.
Makes sense.
Encourages a sense of togetherness, which is very much in line with Japanese culture.
It sounds like they've really thought about how lighting can impact not just the look of a space, but also the way people feel and interact within it.
Yeah, that's one of the hallmarks of great design. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about creating an experience.
Right.
And in this apartment, light plays a vital role in shaping that experience.
This deep dive has been so insightful. We've gone from talking about a specific apartment design to exploring broader concepts of Japanese aesthetics and philosophy. It's made me realize that design is about so much more than just making a space look pretty.
It's about creating a space that reflects your values, your lifestyle, and your aspirations.
Right.
It's about creating a space that supports your well-being and brings you joy.
I love that. And I think what's so inspiring about this Japanese-inspired apartment is that it shows how those principles can be translated into a modern context.
Absolutely.
It's not about living in a museum.
Right.
It's about creating a space that feels both timeless and relevant to our lives today.
Absolutely. It's about taking inspiration from tradition, but also embracing innovation.
Right.
It's about creating a space that's both beautiful and functional, both serene and inspiring.
This has been such a fascinating exploration. But before we wrap up, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, this idea of applying Japanese design principles not just to our homes, but to our lives as a whole.
Right.
I know it's a big question, but what are your thoughts on that?
It's a wonderful question, and one that I think is worth pondering.
Yeah.
Imagine if we could bring that same sense of intentionality, balance, and harmony that we see in Japanese design to other aspects of our lives.
Right.
Think about the concept of that embrace of negative space.
Yeah.
Could we apply that to our schedules?
Okay.
Creating more breathing room for reflection and rejuvenation.
It's a powerful idea. I know I'm definitely guilty of overscheduling myself, trying to cram too much into every day. Maybe a little more mod in my life would be a good thing.
And think about the emphasis on natural materials and the connection to nature.
Yeah.
Could we make a more conscious effort to incorporate nature into our daily routines, even if it's just, a few minutes spent tending a small garden or taking a walk in the park?
I love that it's about bringing that sense of peace and grounding that we get from nature into our everyday lives.
Exactly. And the focus on simplicity and functionality.
Right?
That's so central to Japanese design. Could we apply that to our possessions, to the way we consume, to the choices we make?
It's like Marie Kondoing our entire lives.
Exactly.
Getting rid of the clutter, both physically and mentally, to focus on what truly matters.
Precisely. And this isn't about adopting a rigid set of rules.
Yeah.
It's about taking inspiration from these principles and finding ways to integrate them into our own unique lives.
So it's really about a shift in mindset more than anything else. It's about finding ways to create a sense of balance, harmony, and intentionality
Right.
in all aspects of our lives.
Beautifully said. It's about living with a sense of mindfulness and appreciation for the present moment, for the beauty in the everyday, and for the simple things that bring us joy.
This has been such an incredible deep dive. We started with a design concept for an apartment and ended up with a blueprint for a more mindful and fulfilling life.
It's amazing how design can spark these deeper reflections and inspire us to create positive change, not just in our physical spaces, but also in our inner worlds.
And on that note, we'll leave you to ponder that question.
Okay.
How can you bring a little bit of that Japanese-inspired serenity into your own life? Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Until next time, keep exploring and stay curious.